Yeah, so I try to get the outline as much as possible first before moving on to the top and the bottom of the spoon. A little bit more off of there. Yeah, that's getting there, I think. And we're nearly up to a boil. So that's just right. Let's get the coffee making kit out. Having an Aeropress coffee today. And we've got a Rave Coffee Ethiopian something or other, number 118 today from Rave Coffee. I like to about half fill this. Oh, too much. All my fresh beans. And then grind it straight into the Aeropress. And the gas will run out, well not the gas, the meths will run out in just a minute. I know that I use half a bottle, that little bottle there, half of that bottle is just right to bring 3/4 of a cup up to the boil. Just got to find a flat area to do it, or I could hold it. And the stove's gone out, lovely. Fill that up. I reused the filters a few times. Everyone seems to do it, so let me give it a bit of a stir or a sloosh, and then bop. Let that brew for a few minutes and then press the top down. So you've always got to work with the grain, so the grains running that way, so I can carve down to the bottom there, but then I've got to turn around and come back that way to meet up with it, because I'm always carving down the grain. Checking the side, so I've got a nice swoop there. Go a little bit more on this side. Yeah, swoop. Bit uneven though. More for this side. There we are. It's getting better. Now I'll work in this area next after I've had a bit of coffee and bring that bit down. Getting hot. And there we go. Nice, freshly ground cup of coffee by the waterfall. Doesn't get any better than that really. Sun shining, just perfect. Hot. Remember, we've got a grain change again here. It's cutting down that way and cutting down this way into it, so the grain change is about here at the bottom of the crank of the spoon. So you've got to tack it from both ways. Right, reasonably flat, so I've got a chamfered area all around the bowl now, which means I can get my pencil and use my finger as a gauge and just run round it to give me a margin all round. Make up this bit on the end, somewhere like that. Then hollow the bowl out. The Wood Tools left-handed open sweep. Oh, I'm all exposed, am I? So you can see that. And just carve it out like that. It's sort of a potato peeler grip. So you work from one side, just working into that line that I drew on there. A very potato peeler kind of a way, and turn it round and use my fingers to push it. It makes it very rough, but here you've got the rough shape of the bowl there. And then you start working from end to end. So you're using your fingers and pushing it into the middle, and then working your way round, and then going more for a pivot cut. So I'm pivoting on this finger, like this, and following that pencil line round to get a nice margin round the rim. I can only go down to the deepest part of the bowl, because then the grain will be going the other way. So I will need to turn it round then, hold it between my fingers like this, and again pivot it in like this down to the bottom of the crank of the spoon. So that's what I shall be doing next. As you see, I've got some peelings there where I've gone deeper than this side, so now I need to turn it round and work down into that. In fact, I'll come sideways first, do a potato peeler cut, and get rid of most of that, so as I can see what I'm doing. But yeah, I've got some rough edges here, so now I need to come down and join up with this side. And then come across and see if we can smooth it out a bit. Just that last little bit at the bottom of the crank. work it out from both ends. Where the grain direction changes is varying all the time, depending on what the grain's doing, how straight it is. So you just have to get a feel for it really. Just takes some practice, knowing when to change, which way to attack it from. They're still a bit rough, but that's about it. We've got a bit of a line of something going on here. I don't know, it goes right through. It's not a split, but it could potentially come one as I work it thinner. But anyway, we've got the shape of the bowl there. So now I can work the back and thin it down to that bowl shape. And then I can leave it to dry for a few hours up to a couple of days before I finish it off. So now we're going to work on the back. Not forgetting to take a swig of coffee now and again. You can use a scissor action stroke to start with, which is a chest lever. So you're it's like a chicken. You're using your chest and moving your arms out and remembering to cluck while you do it. Gives a very powerful stroke, and I'm still practicing it, but you can also get it very controlled over time. As you're refining it, you get to see that your outline shape isn't as good as you thought it was. So you can tidy that up as you go along. This is more of a thumb push. So I'm not doing anything with this hand, it's the thumb that's pushing. So it's a very controlled short stroke. And I'm pulling the spoon back a bit as I do it. Give it a bit more power and a bit of a longer stroke with it as well. Yeah, just use a combination, whatever works. It gives your fingers a little rest and a chance to recover. Then you can hold this into your chest and do that kind of a stroke. You kind of push them with your fingers and also pulling it, twisting it a bit like that, but you just don't want your blade to be sticking in that way. Always keep it so as your handle's going to hit first, not the pointy end. And remember to take a swig of coffee. So I'm starting off with quite a steep V there, and then I'm tapering it out as I get up to the handle, so as the thumb and the fingers fit around it a bit better. That's kind of my theory. I don't know. We're getting a nice shape to it now though. It's got some swoopiness. We all like a bit of swoop. Oh dear, taking a chunk out. I'll have to narrow that down a little bit. I've predominantly done that with the chest lever, and now I just finish off with a thumb push. Checking for thickness now and again. The idea is to try and get it all even so it dries out at the same speed, and then in theory shouldn't split. Sometimes it's a thumb push, sometimes it's a thumb pivot. I don't know what I'm going to do until it happens, really. Well, that's a pivot there, so I'm pivoting on the end. And then sometimes it's a push, or it can be a rollover, so I'm pushing it and twisting the blade at the same time, so I'm following that bowl, or trying to, and getting a nice facet going there. Back to the pivot. Oh, I think I'm onto pivot and a thumb push all at the same time then. Or you can start off with a thumb push and then a pivot at the end. You just got to do it and get the feel for it. And then these knife strokes start coming automatically after a while. And it's good to mix it all up because it gives your hand a break. Little check for thickness then. I'm going a bit more facety now, so I'm going for a longer stroke and trying to just roll the knife around as we go. Just to try and smooth it out a bit really, so as I've got less to take off and easier when it dries. Coffee. Yeah, I think I've messed this up a bit. Got a bit too aggressive there. So we're going for a bit of a different shape, so obviously I've got to take a bit off this side now to match. That's about it. We've gone a bit pointy on the bowl here, but when I'm finishing it off, I can do a slight slicey slant cut there, and that'll sort that out. So yeah, he's pretty much, take that bit of crap off. I'm just pushing with my thumb there and giving it a slight twist so there's no danger of it going into my leg there. It's all about safety. You just got to think about where that knife blade could end up if you slip out of the wood. Again, see, I'm only pushing with my thumb, so even if I miss the wood I can only go to there. Nowhere, well, I say nowhere near my leg, I'm fairly close to my leg, but Right, we'll see how this knot here behaves. But yeah, that's it. He's sort of pretty much roughed out really. Let it dry a bit and then it will give me a nice crisper finish when I go over it with a knife. But yeah, that is it. Got a nice swoopy shape, and nice on the fingers as well. Yeah, should be a good one. And the splalted alder, it's got some nice colour to it. Okay. Got a little, I don't know, finch maybe, little yellow bird, little yellow feathers on it, hopping around on the rocks. Thought I'd try and catch that for you. Look, he's got a mouthful of worms.